Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. Let anyone that likes wrestling know about my podcast, maybe just so we can talk on Twitter and Instagram. Hopefully they listen to it. If you're a fan of the show or you're a fan of me and you sometimes want to skip an episode, just play that shit on mute, guys. Just give it a play so I can get the plays. I would appreciate it. I'm saying that jokingly, only kind of joking. If you want to play it on mute, I don't mind. Of course, you wouldn't be playing it on mute right now if you're listening to me say it, but I'm going to get caught up in this wormhole. Let's just jump to wrestling. Seth Rollins will be defending his title on NXT against Braun Breaker. And I'm thinking I might have to start reviewing NXT. So, much like I review Raw and SmackDown, which is predominantly just watch YouTube clips, which you get the whole fucking show that way, and you can just watch it in your leisure. I used to not watch Raw and SmackDown at all, just watch the big shows, but WWE's been really good, so I got sucked into watching it via YouTube, and I think I'm getting sucked in again to NXT via YouTube. And with that, you might as well start watching, NXT Level Up on YouTube, dive into all of WWE solely for YouTube views and clicks. But that's not good for my free time because AEW Collision is also coming out. We're going to be talking about that. Rollins versus Braun Breaker is going to be a pretty good match, I think. I think Rollins has got some size to him. Of course, Braun's got some size to him. Rollins, flies around a little bit. Braun could be that good base. And I wish they didn't do it on NXT. I wish they did this championship match on Raw that got people to watch NXT or something. But, beggars can't be choosers. Luis Lothario showing up on NXT. Ali showing up on NXT. Baron Corbin. They're pulling me in. And you know what? I'm a sucker for wrestling. You guys got me. I'll watch more wrestling. My hands are tied. Jumping into AEW Dynamite from last week, I'm going to give you guys my overall thoughts before I rank every single match from worst to first. CM Punk video package showing the L Train in Chicago, showing him working out. This was extremely well done. It got me a little bit more excited. I like CM Punk, man. I know all this backstage bullshit, he might be hard to deal with. Maybe he's from Chicago, and he might be a bit of that 2010s era Kanye West on him, where he's hard to deal with, but that music is going to be good. I'm not getting into what Kanye West did, in the 2020s and all that anti-Semitic stuff, but 10 years ago Kanye, where everyone knew he was difficult to deal with, but he was still dropping fire. I feel like this could be CM Punk. CM Punk could be like the Kanye of pro wrestling. I feel even bad making that comparison with recent statements from Kanye West, but you guys, I hopefully get where I'm going with that. Sammy Guevara comes out. He's having a girl, and he's having a great year. He wants a title match. Darby Allin interrupts, says hey man, you're a part of this JAS thing. Me and Sting got this cool thing going over here where we're more like buddies who wear face paint. There's no hierarchy pyramid scheme thing going on. And of course Jericho didn't like that. He comes out mad at Sammy for not asking for quote unquote advice during this whole world title program, aka we could have helped you out, man. Daddy Magic could come out there, Cool Hand Luke could come out there, Jake Hager, you know the deal, man. Garcia dancing around covering his face. Jericho a little upset about that, and then says, hey man, do you know who the boss is around here? And pretty much forces him to be in a tag match with him. And then Darby Allin kind of intervenes and says I'll face you guys in a tag match. Of course we all know who Darby Allin's partner is going to be. It's going to be Sting. He comes out and we have a bat off. We have Floyd versus the OG Bat. They're pointing the bats at each other. I'm going crazy. My girlfriend, sitting there reading her book, realizes how big of a deal this is for me. She goes, look at that. The two legends facing. She's hyping me up. She's kind of ironically marking out She knows who Sting is. She knows who Jericho is. She knows that I had these guys action figures. She knows that I played these guys on N64. And here I am, a 33-year-old man, marking out still to this day, making sure I could rush home from work to watch AEW Dynamite. She gets it. And I am excited. Next week on Dynamite, this match is going to be big. I mean, like, this is like, you know, a generational match here. Dynamite had a great match this week that I thought was going to be on a pay-per-view. This match could have been on a pay-per-view. Speaking of the pay-per-view that's coming up, Forbidden Door, Sonata cuts a promo and issues a challenge, and then it gets accepted by Jungle Boy. Yep, that's right, Jungle Boy will wrestle for the IWGP Championship. So he had an AEW title match, lost it, and now he's going to have an IWGP title match. I get it, Jungle Boy is popular with the youth, and Hook is even going to be in his corner. When Jungle Hook is popular with the youth, apparently. From people who keep up with the numbers have told me the numbers, and now I'm telling you that that's what I think I know. But damn, I want to, you know, like, think about the great IWGP title matches, even from this month. And then you got or the great IWGP title match this month. I don't think Sonata's going to be as stiff with him as Roosh was. Apparently there's some backlash with how Roosh treated Jungle Boy. But because he's not going to be snug with him, and because Sonata kind of takes it easy whenever he plays to his match on the card. If he's in the main event, he's doing well. But if he's in the middle of the card, he gladly takes the money and takes everyone to Larryland the whole time and does a bunch of bullshit. And I feel like we're going to get that match here at Forbidden Door, especially with where I think this match is going to be placed on the card. I do not think it's going to be the main event. I think it's going to be closer to being the first match. And I think we're going to get a lot of just tomfoolery from Sonata, very slow. Maybe we get Taka Michinoku and Hook interaction, because Taka Michinoku is in Sonata's corner most of the time in just 5 guys, and Hook is obviously in Jungle Boy's corner. So that's the best outcome in this match, if we get a Hook Taka Michinoku interaction. The Guns cut a promo, call the Hardys old. These guys are funny to me. I don't know why I like them. They kind of remind me of like the younger people I work with. Like, I work with a lot of guys who like are fresh off of playing soccer in college. And, you know, they're like 22, 23 years old. They're goofy but confident. Realize they're silly at times, but then also don't realize they're silly at times, and are like dress well. This is like kind of these young people kind of just dress well. I feel like we kind of like would just show up sloppy. These guys know they can make a TikTok at any time, and they're telling you about it. The Guns, solid tag team. Tanahashi challenges MJF. Tony books it. MJF says he's not showing up. He's not going to just wrestle some indie guy in Japan, of course. But, you know, styles make fights, as we say a lot. Dynamics make stories. This is perfect here, man. You got Tanahashi. A lazy comparison would be the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he's kind of a little different than that. He's more stoic than John Cena, I would say. Got way better hair. No plugins needed for Tanahashi here. All ponytails, high ponies, crazy bangs. But I'm going to get off this man's hair a little bit. This match is going to be great. This card is filling out nicely. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. now. And it looks like they might do Shibata versus Garcia. I mean, the stacked card. And yeah, unfortunately, the IWGP title match is going to get lost on this card, which is ridiculous to say. We're going to go into AEW Collision a little bit later, but right now we're going to rank every single match from AEW Dynamite from worst to first. Number 5, Wardlow versus Jake Hager. Fine match on a good show. Hager attacks before the bell. Arn whips out his Glock on Daddy Magic. Brock brings out the heat on Cool Hand. Powerbomb Symphony 1, 2, 3. Christian Cage, after some technical difficulties, accepts Wardlow's challenge for Luchasaurus. That's going to be on AEW Collision. Number 4, the Mount Rushmore of AEW Dynamite this week. Mogul Embassy versus Sting, Darby, Keith Lee, and Orange Cassidy with Dustin Rhodes in their corner. What a match here. What a spectacle here to see. You got Prince Nana on the outside. You got Dustin Rhodes on the outside. This match was fun, but, didn't make the podium. No, for whatever reason, popped up on the screen. Just the word no in black font just kind of took over the whole screen in a kind of like a transparent style. I have no clue what was going on. I said no. I was wondering if anyone else saw it. It's like one of these weird things. It's just like, did anyone else see this? I go on Twitter, and Nico Extra, believe it or not, the man who's famous on TikTok, the man who's killing it on social media, goes to NXT all the time, mentioned it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm not crazy. Someone else saw this. Cage painted up like old school Sting. No explanation here. I feel like he needs to keep this going. Maybe just go by Cage. Keep the face paint. He's got like a warlord vibe, which kind of fits in with the Embassy, which are his tag team partners. They didn't get the victory, though. Sting lays down the Scorpion Death drop after Orange Cassidy lays in the Orange Punch. 1, 2, 3. Sting, Darby, Keith Lee, and Cassidy beat the Mogul Embassy. Number 3, making the podium, bronze medal here. Toni Storm versus Sky Blue. The battle of the backside. The clash of the ass. These two women got back, as Sir Mix-a-Lot would say. Sky Blue's mom in attendance. Toni Storm's ends up spray painting Sky Blue's mom in the face. Sky Blue ends up spray painting Toni Storm in the face. Hits a code blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. The ref is distracted by Ruby Riot's bitch ass. Sky Blue gets up like, hey, what the hell? I'm having a match here. You know this is against the rules to distract the referee. Yeah, you do it all the time, Ruby Riot. Storm 0, 1, 2, 3. Toni Storm wins. Champ retains. Number 2, the main event. Blackpool Combat Club versus the Hung Bucks. The Elite, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks. Last match of the show. Brawls, dives, German by Wheeler Yuta. Lariat from Mox. 1, 2. Nick kicks out. Hangman Page dies on all sides of the ring. Yuta, he goes for a pin. Yuta kicks out. Northern Light City from Matt Jackson. Gets me every time. I love it. Bryan Danielson on commentary is like, why doesn't he go for a pin here? Great question. Doomsday Device from Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio launching Yuta into the air for a crossbody. Matt ends up getting his knees up. BT trigger to Yuta. Buckshot Lariat to Yuta. 1, 2, 3. The Home Bucks get the victory. Blackpool Combat Club don't care. They're attacking after the bell. Kingston comes out. People are like, what the hell? I mean, I kind of forgot that Kingston and Claudio had beef within this whole feud. And then Claudio, he's getting attacked. Mox breaks it up. I kind of forgot that Mox and Kingston were buddies. This is going back like years in AEW. After months of not even talking about Kingston at all. But I was cool with it. Whatever, they're attacking each other. It didn't last too long. Then Takeshita comes out. He's, cleaning house, taking out Kingston. Does an old school eye rake here. I like that spot. Omega comes out. He's seen enough. He comes out, makes the save. Takeshita and Omega stare down. Two guys that started in DDT and now they are here. They got bad blood. Don Callis is in the middle of it. They're fighting each other. You kind of almost forget about Forbidden Door the way they are just fucking fuming at each other. Omega gets the upper hand, and then boom, super kick from Will fucking Ospreay. We thought he was in Japan, but he's in Washington, D.C. Fun, chaotic ending to the wrestling show. Got me hyped for Forbidden Door, which it's supposed to do, I think it's like July 1st, and then in July 4th, they're doing a New Japan Strong show in Japan. So I don't know what a New Japan Strong show in Japan means. I thought the whole purpose of a New Japan Strong show was that it was New Japan for American audiences, but this is the American audience show in Japan. I don't know. I guess to get over in America to a New Japan audience in America, you got to be in Japan or something. There's a lot of meta booking here, and I think they're on to something. Speaking of booking, there's a whole damn card booked for AEW Collision in Chicago, the debut episode. You got Miro versus who knows? Maybe it's Master Wato. Maybe it's Ryback. Maybe it's, who knows who it is. I don't think it's either of those people. But I think it's going to be a good show. Maybe it's a local legend from Chicago wrestling Miro here. But it's good to see Miro back on TV. I think that's the story that you kind of have to take away from this. Miro is back on AEW. Then you have Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale versus the Outcast. So I forgot to mention this. After Sky Blue's match where she loses, Willow Nightingale comes out and makes sure that the assault by the Outcast didn't last long. So Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale versus the Outcast. If I'm going to make a prediction, I'm thinking that Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale win because you can have this match without taking the title off of Tony. Pretty much Ruby is going to lose to Sky Blue here is my prediction. And then Andrade El Idolo makes his return. The third big return in one big night versus Buddy Matthews. This match is going to kick ass. Buddy Matthews always kills it. He killed it in NXT when he was in the tag team with Alexa Bliss and that other guy. Then when he went to 205 Live, he definitely killed it. He's been killing it in this trios match, but he hasn't had a lot of time to really have a big singles match. And then you can say that with Andrade. Andrade, whenever he's able to kill it, he kills it. And both these guys are able to kill it this evening. Sign me up. This is going to be an exciting match. This is going to be the best match on the show. I don't care about who 6-man tags or title matches. This match is going to be the best on the card. Andrade's going to win. Hopefully this sets up. You got Andrade with his faction, Ingo Bernables with Rouge and Preston Vance, and then you got Buddy Matthews, of course, in the House of Black. I mean, if you're not going to put the title on the Acclaimed, you should have a hard-hitting feud with those 6 men. AEW TNT title match, Wardlow with Arn Anderson, Luchasaurus with Christian Cage. No love lost here. Arn Anderson, forgot to mention this as well. I'm slipping a little bit. Arn Anderson was attacked in the back by Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, bleeding from the corner of his head. I think Luchasaurus headbutted him, and a horn from Luchasaurus' mask clipped Arn Anderson's dome a little bit. But we got a TNT title match. I mean, my prediction is Powerbomb Symphony to Luchasaurus, Powerbomb Symphony to Christian Cage, Wardlow standing tall with the Chicago Faithful going fucking nuts. And then we got the match of the show, the main event, probably. The reason there is a show, some are speculating. CM Punk and FTR versus Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and Juice Robinson teaming with Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe and CM Punk have history going back 20 years at this point. FTR and Bullet Club Gold have history going back 20 days. But I'm pretty excited about this one. Not a bad wrestler on this whole 6-man tag. I just don't want to see any springboards from Punk. Keep it with the scoop slams. Keep it methodical. Get on the mic afterwards. I mean, what's going to happen here? What's he going to say? Is he going to bring up some shit? As much as everyone wants to see, Punk versus Omega after everything that happened, even before everything that happened, Omega's got 2 feuds right now. Will Ospreay, Takeshita. He's booked. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Hangman has a feud. Could we see something like that happen? I think Hangman and CM Punk have enough carny in them to put their differences aside for $1. But I don't know. Who would he feud with if it's not the Elite? CM Punk and Samoa Joe, yes, they can play into their history, but CM Punk wrestling for the ROH television title, come on. That would just be kind of odd. Bullet Club Gold, the other group in the, they got 2 feuds as well. They're feuding with Ricky Starks, they're feuding with FTR, so I don't think you're going to get a CM Punk versus Jay White or Juice Robinson out of it, or you might. You did have the Guns help Bullet Club Gold a few weeks ago, so maybe they come into play. No love lost between the Guns and FTR. I don't know where this could go. I'm more interested in seeing how the crowd reacts to CM Punk and seeing what CM Punk says than the outcome of this match, but this should be a pretty good match. Obviously, CM Punk and FTR are going to win. Obviously, I enjoy doing this podcast for you guys. Let me know on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling or on Instagram if you like my stuff. Fly high. I'm out.